What happens when a waitress insults a black veteran? And what if that veteran isn't just any man, but a billionaire? That's exactly what happened in a shocking encounter that no one saw coming. A simple moment of disrespect turned into a life-altering event for one waitress who had no idea who she was dealing with. What followed next would completely change her life forever. In today's video, you'll learn about an incident of discrimination that spiraled into revenge, but with a twist, because sometimes the person you least expect can have the power to ruin everything. How did a single act of prejudice lead to a billionaire bringing down a waitress's world? Stick around till the end to uncover all the shocking details. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Welcome to Craze TV, where we bring you powerful stories that make you think, reflect, and sometimes even question what you know. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our latest videos. Now, let's dive right into this unforgettable story. Meet John, a highly decorated war hero, someone who has fought for his country and earned every bit of recognition that comes with it. But this isn't just any veteran. John is also a billionaire businessman, one of the wealthiest people in the world. From building successful companies to investing in groundbreaking technologies, John has earned his place among the elite. Yet despite his vast fortune and influence, he's not the type to flaunt it. He's humble, down to earth, and like anyone else, just trying to enjoy a quiet meal at a local restaurant. On this particular day, he walks into a small diner, not looking for special treatment or attention, just a peaceful lunch, away from the constant spotlight of his high-profile life. Now, enter the waitress, a young woman just starting out in life, trying to make ends meet. She's working at the diner, doing her best to get through the shift, but for reasons unknown, she decides to treat John unfairly. When he sits down and orders his meal, she responds with cold indifference. Instead of greeting him with a simple, friendly smile, she turns away, making it clear that she has no intention of offering him good service. As John waits for his food, the waitress continues to ignore him, making snide comments under her breath that are just loud enough for him to hear. The situation quickly takes a darker turn when she openly refuses to serve him, claiming that he's not worthy of her time. She makes a rude remark about his appearance, one that's not only unprofessional, but deeply insulting. For a moment, John is taken aback. He's dealt with prejudice before, but never in such a blatant and disrespectful way. She doesn't stop there. The waitress continues to throw subtle racist comments his way, assuming things about him based on his appearance and his race. Her actions become more than just bad service. They are driven by bias, and in that moment, John becomes a target of discrimination. It's clear that she is judging him without knowing anything about who he truly is. The moment the waitress looks at John, she decides he's not worth her time. With a cold glance, she dismisses him without a second thought. Instead of offering a simple greeting, she coldly walks past him, ignoring him completely. But then, with a cruel smirk, she makes a remark that cuts deeper than words, a direct insult to his race and his service to the country. Her voice is low, but sharp enough for John to hear. She mutters something about him being just another one of those types who think they're entitled to special treatment, and sneers at his uniform, assuming it's some kind of disguise. The words sting, but John doesn't show it. His heart races, but he maintains his calm composure. On the outside, he's still, his face betraying nothing. Yet, inside, he's shocked. She doesn't know that John has dealt with prejudice before. He's been in situations like this many times, but never so blatantly. Her words are not only unprofessional, but deeply offensive. And while she thinks she has the upper hand, mocking him in such an open manner, what she doesn't realize is who John really is. She doesn't know he's not just any man. She doesn't know that John is a billionaire businessman, one of the wealthiest and most influential people in the world. His life is built on power, success, and connections that go far beyond the reach of someone like her. What she sees as just another easy target for her disdain is a person whose influence could easily dismantle her life if he chose to, but at that moment, she remains unaware of who she's truly crossed. John's reaction is one that catches everyone off guard. Instead of shouting or creating a scene, he smiles calmly, almost as if he's accepting what's just happened. He stands up from his seat, quietly pays for his drink, and walks out of the restaurant without saying another word. On the surface, it seems like he's letting it go, but behind that composed exterior, a plan begins to take shape. He knows that reacting with anger or violence wouldn't solve anything, but his silence is far from passive. As he steps out into the cool air, John is already considering his next moves. He doesn't let this moment slide. He doesn't forget. He starts to work quietly, using the vast resources at his disposal to expose the waitress's behavior. His connections in the business world, his influence in various circles, begin to open doors for him to get the word out about the incident. John doesn't simply file a complaint. He makes sure the right people know about what happened. His reach is vast. He knows the right journalists, the right industry insiders, and the right individuals who can amplify the story. Within days, the waitress's actions are no longer just a personal affront to John. The story spreads, and people begin to take notice. Her life begins to unravel. The diner where she works receives calls, questioning their hiring practices. People who were once regulars stop coming in, and the negative attention becomes too much for the restaurant to ignore. Her reputation, which was already fragile, starts to crumble. As the story gains traction, the community turns its back on her. Her friends distance themselves, and her career falters. The waitress, once certain that her words would have no real consequences, now faces the fallout of her hate-fueled actions. It's not about revenge, though. John knows that. For him, it's about ensuring that actions based on hate and prejudice have consequences. She thought she could belittle him without fear of repercussions, but now she's learning the hard way that every choice, especially one rooted in bias, will eventually come back. This story isn't just about money. It's about the power of influence and the responsibility that comes with it. When someone possesses both wealth and power, they can either sit back and let injustice go unchallenged, or they can choose to use their position to right wrongs. John didn't simply let the insult slide. He could have walked away, forgotten about the incident, and left things to chance. But instead, he chose to stand up against injustice, and he did so in a way that many would never have expected. John understood that his wealth wasn't just for personal gain. It was a tool, a way to influence change. He could have used his resources to get back at the waitress in a petty way, but he chose a higher path. He made sure that the injustice she had done to him didn't go unnoticed, and by using his connections and his influence, he brought attention to her actions in a way that had a lasting impact. He knew that sometimes people need to see the consequences of their behavior before they can truly understand the weight of their actions. The lesson here is clear. Discrimination and hatred have real consequences. No one, no matter who they are, should be exempt from the law of respect. We all live in a world where our words and actions matter, and they can hurt people in ways we can't always predict. But this story also teaches us that sometimes the person you least expect, the one who doesn't seek attention or conflict, may be the very one who has the power to make change. John's decision to use his influence to address the waitress's behavior didn't just affect her, it sent a message to anyone who might think that such hate-filled actions could go unchallenged. It's a shocking story, but one that reminds us how important it is to treat everyone with respect, regardless of their background. The actions we take, whether big or small, can have far-reaching consequences, sometimes in ways we least expect. And remember, the truth always has a way of coming out, even if you think no one is watching. So, what do you think? Is this a fair punishment for the waitress? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking stories like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.